Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scenic Route Astrology. My name is Makayla, and today I am bringing you Thailand for our Pisces new moon video that's happening on March 2nd, 2022. This new moon is going to be at 12 degrees and 6 minutes of Pisces in your chart. So if you'd like to discover where this is happening for you, look for that access. Before we dive into the energy, like always, I just want to update you on what's going on. I've been traveling around Thailand for about a week now. I'm spending another week here, and I'm just really enjoying this Neptunian Pisces vibe, the ocean right behind me, the humidity. And I'm doing the video outside because I actually wanted to bring this Zen peacefulness to you while I'm experiencing it at the same time. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, a lot of big changes, a lot of projects are launching. I'm really excited to share everything with you. If you watch my last video, my last lunar video, I talked about my collaboration with my business partner, Brittany Montagna from Spiritual Crystal Child. And we have come together and created our own business, a second business that is separate from her tarot and my astrology. That's called the Zen Goddesses. And we just launched a podcast. Today we recorded episode 3. And I highly encourage you to check out this episode because it is so connected to the current world events and what's going on. We basically talked about the duality in life, of the masculine and feminine imbalance, of positive and negative energies, and how we can find peace within the chaos of it all. I understand this is difficult times, and this is, as always, directly related to the astrological weather that's going on right now. So if you're feeling a little bit lost in the energy, if you're having a hard time navigating on what to believe, what's true, what is not, if you're feeling overwhelmed by emotion, whether that's, for what's going on in Ukraine or what's going on in the United States, if you're living in some type of fear, you're not alone. There's many other people who are feeling the same things that you are. And I'm here to tell you that this is a part of the current astrological weather that is just what we're given, okay? But I'm gonna look at this as an absolute positive side because this energy is so beautiful for a rebirth and a new beginning for us all. I always get excited about the lunation cycles. You know that I give you moon mystical guidance because I am very lunar myself and I love to work with the lunar phases, and I'm so connected to the earth and the sky in this way. So I'm even having a hard time trying to communicate the oceanic depth of information and downloads that are pouring through me because of this overwhelming Pisces energy. We have Jupiter that is transiting through Pisces that is going to be conjunct this new moon today. Jupiter transits through Pisces once every 12 years. So this is a beautiful new moon conjunct Jupiter that's only happening once every 12 years. Then when Jupiter conjuncts Neptune, this is a transit that happens 100 in every 65 or so years. So these are very rare conjunctions that we're experiencing in our lifetime, and it's absolutely fertile ground. So if you're working with the energy, if you're watching this video, you're already consciously working with what the universe is giving you. I'm here to tell you that there is a huge impact of love and consciousness and positivity and light that is abundant and it's flowing all around us. So I'm going to dive into with the chart with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. You can understand where this is showing up, and hopefully you can make conscious decisions and choices to expand your life. Because if you use this new moon energy today to plant seeds for something that's really creative, really emotionally charged, really potent for your life, something that you want to see expand and just grow with joy and abundance and love, this new moon is going to give that to you. I also want to touch on the current state of affairs. Of course, I've been watching the news since I got here in Thailand. It was actually on February 22nd when I was in flight that it was declared that Russia was going to be invading Ukraine. I had seen the transits coming up. I had known that there was going to be something big going on. It wasn't until I landed in Doha, Qatar, that I had gotten the information off the news. And so I was like, well, here goes the United States Pluto return. We're setting off. But this actually has been starting since all this Capricorn energy began, since the big Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto conjunction in Capricorn back in 2022, when the pandemic began. I do want to say this is my own personal beliefs. If you're subscribing to my channels, then I believe that you're resonating with what I am saying. I'd be happy to have conversations with you. If you're wondering what's going on more and deeper astrologically, you can always reach out on any of my platforms. You can leave a comment. You can reach out on my Instagram. You can send me an email off my website. You can book an astrology reading. I believe that this whole COVID pandemic was supposed to happen for us so that we could all sit back and realize what is really important for us in life. I kind of think that this was a distraction, and it was meant to toss our systems off balance. It was meant to put people in a state of fear. Might have been done on purpose, but in reality, it backlashed because it gave people time to really look within and really do some deep inner work within and figure out what was going on in their personal lives. And you all know I'm a huge believer in that if you're going to want to create change and healing in the world, then that has to start with yourself. Personally, you have to do the inner work because your aura is directly going to reflect everything around you. What vibrates inside is vibrating without. So it was a blessing in disguise, if we can think of it that way. And of course, we are still dealing with this energy. I believe that we might see some second repercussions when we have the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in April. I believe that is April 12th. But I also believe that we're going to get a surge coming in of spirituality into humanity. I think a lot more people are going to be looking for different healing techniques. This has already begun. We can see the astrological community is growing, the tarot community is growing, yoga, spirituality, learning about ancient religions, just asking for more information. I know that we're not in the Gemini Sagittarius node axis anymore. We've now moved and shifted into South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus, but this is about building on new structures in our life, creating new self-sustainability, creating new ways of self-assurance, creating new ways to provide yourself safety and sanity and security, and really plowing the fields. And the way that you can do that is you can let go and you can reach into that Scorpio South Node and you can let go of attachments that come from societal structures, that come down from passed down beliefs, that come down from family dynamics that don't resonate with you anymore. Maybe it's even relationship choices. I mean, this can show up in so many ways, but when you create space in your life for things that are hurting you or don't serve you or resonate with you anymore or don't feel good, we allow so much new abundance to flood in. My life is a direct example of this. I had went through an 8th house Scorpio year last year, and now because I went and let go of all these deep emotional, psychologically rooted attachments in my life, I'm very open about what I've went through. I have no problem sharing my story because we're all the same and we all go through hard times. It's a part of duality. I have been planting new seeds for growth that I cannot even dream about. Okay, like I couldn't even dream about, and now I'm actually living it. Now I'm here in paradise. Now I'm creating my reality. I'm making choices that serve me. I'm spreading healing and joy into others. I'm making connections that are so incredible and potent that I never thought that this would happen. I never even had envisioned it before. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that that can happen for every single person in this world. Okay, so anyway, we're going to get into the astrology. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay, my friends. As you can see, I've changed the chart from cold but lovely Providence, Rhode Island to Surat Thani in Thailand. I'm actually on the island of Koh Phangan. I just couldn't find it in this program, but this is the closest area. I've actually visited Surat Thani before last year in 2020, but that story is for another day. We're here to talk about the astrology. So as you can see down here, the conjunction is at 12 degrees and 6 minutes of Pisces, and it's also conjunct Jupiter. So you're going to want to find where Pisces is in your chart, because this is the opportunity to plant a new seed for growth. So I do want to talk about the Pisces archetype a bit. This is an oceanic wave of energy. Pisces is beautiful, it's spiritual, it's dream world, it's magic, it's the spirit of life, it's super healing, and it's also on the axis of Virgo. So both Virgo and Pisces both deal with health. Okay, Virgo dealing with the 6th house, with our daily routine and our daily life, and the choices that we make, and our diet, our health issues can come up in the 6th house. But also the 12th house has to do with our health house, forgive me, as well. Okay, this can also be shown as like hospitals and institutions. It's definitely a potent spiritual health, but it also has to rule over health dynamics that maybe are not seen right away, or that manifest if we're not taking care of our 6th house daily routine. Just like when I do my relocated chart, for instance, when I move to Thailand, my son will move into the 12th house. So right now I have a 12th house son, and I actually have come down with allergies and a sinus infection when I got here. And I obviously am okay. You can see that I'm okay. But also when I had arrived here, I got hit by a moving car in traffic and ended up taking down their rear view mirror. So not to freak anybody out if you have a 12th house sun, this is also a very potent magical space for me to be in, where I can connect to my higher self, my higher consciousness on an even deeper level. I've been getting downloads. I've been feeling all sorts of magicalness running through my body. There's pros and cons in every single house in the astrology chart. So I'm always the one to just give you a no bullshit approach to astrology. I'm going to look at you and tell you both the dark and the light and everything, because that is duality and that is life. Okay, and it's good for us to realize that. I'm also bringing up the 6th house as a part of the Pisces archetype, because we always look to the opposite house as the antidote. So if you're having a hard time in your Pisces house, wherever that falls in your chart, you're going to want to pull in the positivity of the opposite, the opposing house, to help you balance everything out. So for instance, in Thailand right now, we have a Sagittarius rising chart for this new moon. This is so ironic, so funny. But if the home life was if you were feeling a little bit of disillusionment in the way that you're emotionally seeing yourself, then you would reach into that 10th house to work on your boundary dynamics. Okay, Virgo, discern which boundaries that you would need to be putting into place in your outside and exterior self. Okay, and the way that I'm looking at is because in the natural zodiac, the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. So we would blend together both Virgo and Capricorn to read this chart if this was for an individual person. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on in this chart. For instance, we have on this new moon, we have Mars over here. We've got a cluster in the Capricorn energy. We've got Vesta at 26 degrees, Venus at 26 degrees Capricorn, Mars at 27 degrees, Pluto at 27 degrees Capricorn. So this is a big rolling conjunction. And right here, right, this aspect is making it's bringing in this energy. It's not really making an aspect to this new moon, but the energy is there as a backdrop where What are you devoting yourself to? What values, Venus and Vesta in conjunction in Capricorn, what values are you now devoting yourself to? And are you building for the long term? Okay. How are your power dynamics showing up? We can obviously see power dynamics showing up in really funky ways if we're looking at the wide world right now. Okay, we're dealing with this. When we look at the macrocosm level, the Capricorn power dynamics, the leaders, the countries, the choices that they're making, the military movements, right? What is going on, right? And I'm not here to get all political and talk because that really isn't my forte, but I am heavily involved in watching all of this going on. And I want to show you how this is showing up in astrology. You can make these connections that are happening on a bigger level, and then you can pull them in and look at this in a smaller, deeper level in your own personal life. And please don't forget, just because you're one individual, you can have the greatest impact on your community, your surrounding community around you. It becomes a trickle effect. And I'm going to bring it back to this Pisces energy. This rolling conjunction of the Venus, Mars, Pluto power dynamic, this new initiation of energy, this new cycle happening for you in your Capricorn house. You could think about it, Capricorn is our earth sign, right? You could think about you throwing a rock into a lake, right? You are this single rock, you are this heavy weight, this new dynamic that you're initiating, and it trickles out into the water, and you can see all the ripples trickle out, and they will go all the way out for as far as they go throughout the whole entire lake, throughout the whole entire ocean. Think about this as an ocean of people. Okay, that is how impactful your little stone throw can be. All right, that's the type of work. That's how you can show up in your community. You can throw a stone in there, and do you want that ripple effect to create massive waves of change? Or do you want it to be healing? Do you want it to reach new heights? Do you want to change the shorelines? How do you want to show up and move in your life right now? What kind of initiations of change do you want to make? Okay. And the way that if you don't know, if you're not clear, all right, this is a great time because of this Pisces energy to spend some time in solitude and to spend some time retreating and navigating through your own consciousness, through your own emotional and physical body, and start meditating on this. All right. And I guarantee you'll have some downloads coming in because this aspect is also making a sextile to 11 degrees of Uranus and Taurus over here. Okay. Uranus is the planet that directs us to our higher consciousness in the higher realms. Uranus has been transiting through Taurus for some time and will be there for a few more years. And we all know that Uranus and Taurus is giving us changes in our weather. So my friends in Australia right now are getting a ton of rain on the Gold Coast. They're getting downpours, torrential downpours, right? That's that Jupiter Pisces energy, right? That is the moon, sun, Jupiter conjunction in Pisces, like tons of rain. All right, because anything that Jupiter touches, it expands, right? So we're getting this sextile to Uranus in Taurus. And the sextile is a nice, easy aspect. It allows information to flow in. So maybe you get into some yoga. Maybe you start physically moving your body like Taurus would want you to. Maybe you start getting some downloads while you're in the middle of some movement, some dance, some meditation. Really tap into these elements of your life to allow some freedom of expression to move through you, okay? There is no boundaries within the Pisces energy. It's limitless. And with Uranus and Taurus, Uranus is shaking things up and it's causing a fracture, okay? Uranus is associated in the natural zodiac with the sign of Aquarius. And what happens in Aquarius? There is initiation for change because there's a fracture that happens. Something is broken, something that is liberated, something that feels too stuck is all of a sudden cracked, okay? And it allows us to expand, it allows us to grow, and it allows us to fix something that's not working anymore. The following sign after Aquarius is Pisces. So within this Pisces energy, we actually experience a decay of what's going on in your soul, all right? Pisces is ruled in the natural zodiac by the 12th house. So wherever Pisces lies in your chart, you will often experience a closure. Okay, so for me, for instance, it's in my 5th house. So what happens in my life at times is that my home life will bring me an Aquarian fracture. Okay, something breaks, something has to change drastically, and it can be unexpected. It can be painful when I was not aware and conscious of these things. But every time that happened, I experienced a decay, and I don't want to say decay as in like it's dying, it's ugly, it's rotting, it's death. It's just this like this blending of the whole entire zodiac. It's this blending and this trickling effect that it spreads out all the energy that you had just went through the entire zodiac wheel, all the learning, all the new beginnings, all the information that you gathered, all the transformation that you went through within this Pisces archetype. We spread it out and we share it with the world, with Mother Nature, with those of us in our lives. Okay, we don't hold on to it anymore. We have this fracture effect from the Aquarius, and then we just let it we let it erode. We let it nurture the soil. All right, Pisces water energy is replenishing. It's nurturing. We need water to survive. Okay, it helps you fertilize your dreams and your bigger beliefs. Okay, Pisces in evolutionary astrology is mostly associated with Neptune, but we also in modern astrology associate it with Jupiter. So I do want to bring in the archetype right here, the mythology actually of Zeus. Okay, so I think this is a time when you want to ask yourself, what kind of Zeus do I want to be in my life right now when I'm planting these new seeds under this energy? You know, Zeus was the god of Olympus. He sat up on his throne. He was in charge of all the gods. Okay. Was he good at times? For sure. Was he bad at times? For sure. Like, that's just life, right? That mythology. We see mythology play out in humans in our day-to-day life. But that's the difference between myth and archetype. Okay. Myth often is a moralistic, and I'm using quotations if you can't see me, a moralistic way of living or how we should live. Okay. But when we take an archetype and we understand the archetype, then we get deeper into actually how this plays out in our human life dynamics. Okay. So, you know, there's so much creation that is within this Pisces energy. So back to like my own personal chart as an example, every time I went through a fracture within my 4th house, which is also the way that I emotionally see myself, every time I expanded my knowledge on how I emotionally see myself, I give birth to new creations in my 5th house. I'm able to pour myself into a new project and take everything that I've learned and take this higher vision, this Aquarius vision, which is represented by this Uranus and Taurus, okay, this sextile. What is this new vision that you have going on that stems way back to 2020? What are these new dynamics that you've learned about yourself that you're now ready to plant the seed and share and have this new co-creation with the universe with? Okay, it's extremely potent energy. It's so beautiful. I think that this new moon is just absolutely full of moisture for the soul to express itself in the way that it wants to right now in current times. I also want to point out that we want to be aware of how Pisces energy can also bring confusion because there's so much going around. And we can look at this with the media, for instance, right? As an example, we can get bedazzled. It's one of my favorite words that Richard Tarnas would use. Okay, we can, for Neptune, right, for Jupiter, we can get bedazzled by the information that we're taking in or the knowledge that we're taking in. And it's important for us to tap into that opposite side of the Pisces to be able to reach into Virgo values, to be able to discern what is truth and what is not for us, okay? And that's very relevant to your own personal reality, okay? You don't have to make choices based on what other people are telling you or they believe to be true. We can all agree to disagree. We all have the Libra in our chart. We all have the Virgo in our chart. We have all of these archetypes living and breathing within us. It's about knowing them, it's about learning them, it's about tapping and tuning into them so that when this type of energy shows up, we can discern between what is, you know, a beautiful new higher consciousness ready to create a new beginning, ready to plant seeds that are fertile, that are ready for us to grow, or what is causing us more confusion in our life and what might put a blinder on us, if you will, or might drown us, if you will, in the Pisces energy, that we can't see what is actually in front of us or what is actually going on. Okay, you want to swim in clear waters. You don't want to be swimming in dirty, mucky water, basically. I also want to point out that this is also making a semi-square to Vesta over here, and I do love to work with the asteroid goddesses. I believe it adds just a beautiful layer into our astrological reading. And you know, I love goddess energy, but also the square to Sirius right here. So, you know, there's tension in squares, and the semi-square is a little bit less of a tension than a regular square, but the square to Sirius is, you know, where is the tension between the new project that you're creating? And because it's in Gemini, you might have two choices. You might have multiple options, you know, you might be conflicted right now, which is very relevant. Again, if we look at it on the bigger scale, a lot of us are confused about what to believe or where should we put our resources or what should we do about what's going on in the world. Okay, we have choices, all right, but we can communicate because Gemini wants to communicate, and it also wants you to ask questions, ask a lot of questions. Okay, so you don't have to rush on this decision. You know, if you're looking to work with this Pisces new moon today or tomorrow, you can actually work with this energy while the moon is still transiting through Pisces. Okay. And then once it hits Aries, it's going to be a more aggressive approach. If you're doing a new moon manifestation, then it's just going to be a more aggressive approach. I would wait though. I would not wait too long, wait to know what you're clear about, but do it while the moon is in Pisces. Okay. But you know, if you're not sure what to set intentions about, you can go really, really simple and really basic and just say, I want joy and I want peace and I want abundance in my life. You know, you can ask for these simplistic things, which is very relevant to the North Node in Taurus. You know, the North Node in Taurus is not a complicated energy. And this new moon actually makes a quintile, which is a very creative aspect to use. A 72 degrees aspect. It allows for creative change, right? Creativity, creative growth, creative expansion, you know, and with the sextile to the North Node, the quintile to the North Node and the square to Ceres, you know, whatever tension is going on, that's okay. The energy is there. It's telling you it's there, you know, so you're not alone if that is happening for you. And the South Node at the same time is also making a sextile to this Mars, Venus, and Pluto. All right. And what that's telling me is that this energy is perfect for you to plant a seed for growth. Okay. And also let go of a power dynamic or tension or structure that is, you know, very Capricorn like, that is very structural, that just kind of needs to be let go of. Okay. And with the Mars Venus, you know, playing tag as they have been in the Capricorn energy, it's allowing you to let go of this whatever this is showing up for you. Okay. Sometimes this is a relationship pattern for people. It depends what houses this is happening for you in your chart, you know, but this can be relationship patterns for some people. This can be you know, wanting to move, but, you know, not wanting to leave behind, for instance, you know, family or friends or feeling guilty about that, you know. And I always say this because this is something that I'm actually going through too, you know, Saturn is making aspects, my, you know, two points in my chart within my fourth house, you know, and we're all not exempt from this. So we're all seeing and feeling this energy showing up in some way or another. But because the nodes are in water and earth, okay, and because this bountiful new moon is happening in water energy as well, and because we have all the Mars, Venus, Capricorn energy and earth, like there's so much water and earth in this chart, it's insane. Right? And what do we do with water and earth? We plant a seed in the earth, in the ground, we water it and it grows. So you can just see, when we just go back to the elements of itself in this astrology, how beautifully abundant we can grow, you know? Like you can have an island like Thailand growing inside of your heart and your mind. You know, it can be beautiful, it can be abundant, you can make it, you can have nature, you can connect with your spiritual self, you can connect with the animals, you can connect with those that you love, you can create new relationships, you can manifest new beginnings into your life, you can spread your dreams around, you can get new dreams coming in, you can practice your devotion to your spiritual self. You know, this this loss of attachment through the South Node is going to benefit you. And I do realize that for some people, this is really a lot more difficult than others. You know, if you have strong Scorpio or you have strong fixity in your chart, actually, you're getting an opposition or a square. You know, if you're Pluto and Scorpio generation, you're getting asked to initiate this year, as the South Node is going to transit over your Pluto at some point over the next 18 months. You're going to be asked to bring forth some past life dynamics that you were good at that can help heal the collective and plant seeds for the new, okay? You're really being asked to create an initiation for change in this time, you know? Pluto and Scorpio generation, which is my generation, is 1994 to 1995. I will, if I am wrong, I will link it down below, but I am pretty sure that that was the 12-year spectrum that Pluto was transiting through that sign. So, you know, at the same time, we also have this repeating theme going on, just because I don't want to leave, you know, some of the planets out. This chart is entirely a bowl. You can see that all the planets are clustered on one side of the chart, but that does not mean that we leave the other archetypes out. That simply means that we reach out to the other archetypes on the opposite of the chart to synthesize and create the balance. They are the antidote. They are not active because we don't have a planet transiting through that sign right now. In fact, we need to pull out and we need to reach out even more. We need to use that Jupiter energy and that expansion and that higher wisdom and that higher vision to reach out and utilize those parts of the natal chart as well to create the harmony and the balance in the world and in our personal lives, okay? So just to finish off looking at the transits, we're gonna have Mercury and Saturn conjunct. You know, Saturn is a long-term commitment and Mercury will rule documents, conversation, the way that we're processing information from our left brain to our right. It's in an air sign. You know, are you verbally committing to something right now? Okay. And we can see this again on the macrocosm level. What are our leaders talking about and what are they committing to right now? Okay. So we want to look out for that. We want to look for what information is coming, what information we're giving out, what we're putting our word towards, you know, and what kind of commitments are showing up right there. Okay. Very important to realize that, you know, Mercury is still a big part of this picture, okay? And Mars and Venus in, let's see, a day or so, I believe, will be, I think it's tomorrow, but let me just check real quick. Not tomorrow. Of course, it's not tomorrow. Yeah, on March 7th, Mars and Venus will be in conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is where the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction had their aspect and initiated a new 20-year cycle for us at the end of 2020. So This is very potent. It's like an activation of the outer planets, but now in the personal level, in the personal way. And we've had time to think about our beliefs. We've had time to think about our structures. The energies actually go now. It's asking you to do things. It's asking you to make moves. You don't have to rush into anything, but it is, if you're taking the action now, I guarantee you, you're going to plant some seeds for the future that are going to pay off in the long haul, especially if you're coming from a place of your heart, of purity. Water purifies. And if you're coming from this loving place, if you're making changes, if you're actively and consciously working with the energy, I do believe that you're going to create any type of abundance that you wish to see in the world. Okay, this is deeply, deeply healing energy. So anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed my new background. I'm going to be here again for more videos. This isn't the last time you're going to see of Thailand. And if you're not following me yet on my Instagram, I have 2 accounts. You can follow me at the Scenic Route Astrology for all astrology things. And it's kind of like my personal and astrology kind of Instagram. It's just kind of manifested that way because I love to invite you into my life and who I am. I think it's important, if I'm going to be your astrologer, that you know who I am as a person and individual. And you can also follow me at the Zen Goddesses, where Brittany and I do a lot of healing and spirituality as work as well. And we bring a lot of duality to our work. And she has a science background and a spiritual background as well. So we just really work well together and vibe well together. I am wishing you all so much love and abundance on this new moon in Pisces. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps everybody find my work. It helps spread these messages. It helps spread positivity and love and light into their collective. If you want to share it with your friends, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. I really appreciate that. Anyway, I will be back again for more. Take care, guys. Bye.